Welcome, everyone. We're glad to have you with us today. The world as we know it has drastically changed as a result of COVID, like we were just talking about. And many, if not all of you, have moved to remote work settings. So we created this workshop to help you navigate this new world regarding your meetings. Remote meetings may not have been a regular part of your everyday workflow, and how to make them efficient can be a bit of a challenge. In many ways, remote meetings are similar to in-person meetings. However, with remote meetings, facilitating discussion and keeping participants engaged can be even more challenging, which I'm sure many of you are experiencing. And this workshop is intended to help you plan and host high-quality in-person and remote meetings. The workshop will consist of 7 didactic presentations, and all sessions will be recorded, and the recordings will be made available on our YouTube channel. Additionally, all materials shared during this workshop, including session slides and hosting remote meeting user guide, will be posted to our NEDARC website for download, and we'll also be putting the links into the chat area. Every presentation will have these 3 slides. They will have a summary slide, a list of downloadable resources that are specific related to that session, and the references associated with the presentation content. Even though this workshop is more didactic in nature, we will have several interactive spots throughout the workshop. The ways you can interact are through muting and unmuting your microphone, typing comments and questions in the chat box, or raising your virtual Zoom hand in the reactions feature. Any questions before we get started? All right, so we had some workshop learning objectives, and they were that workshop participants will be able to discover the life cycles of a meeting, identify opportunities for improving their future meetings, and increase meeting attendees' engagement. In fact, the increasing participant engagement was overwhelmingly identified by registrants as the one thing they most wanted to learn about at this workshop. So increasing engagement isn't just one thing to do, it's many things you can do. Hence, to help you identify those tasks or steps or tools or whatever that will help you increase engagement throughout the workshop, you will see slides with these 6 badges that you see pictured here. So when you see a slide with one of these badges, we are trying to make a special point to you as a participant of another task or step you can adopt to increase engagement for your meetings. At this workshop, we will take a look at what you need to know about running high-quality meetings with external stakeholders and organizations. And hopefully they'll also help you if you have any internal meetings. Keep in mind that every project or group is different, so not all the guidelines that we discuss can be adopted for your purposes. In other words, please adopt and adapt whatever you think is helpful based on your specific situation. The first presentation is more of an overview of the concepts that we will get into detail throughout and during the subsequent presentations for this workshop over the next 2 days. First, I'm going to show a parody of a remote conference call meeting, one that you've probably all experienced in varying degrees.
Trip Crosby
has joined the meeting.
I'm assuming you can all hear it okay.
Yeah.
Beth?
Has joined the meeting.
Hello?
Tyler?
No, this is Beth from ICS.
Oh, hey, Beth. How are you doing?
Oh, good. Yeah. Just making it, you know.
Tyler?
Has joined the meeting.
All right, well, this is Trip. Who's here?
Tyler's here.
Beth's here.
Okay, the purpose of today's meeting is to discuss the...
Yeah, I'll be able to do it in like 30 minutes. John?
Has joined the meeting.
Hi, John.
Hi.
I was just trying to go over the purpose of today's meeting, which is to discuss the
Tyler?
Has joined the meeting.
Sorry, guys, I got...
Depends on how you look at it, because the
really
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Given sales, we're at a.
Let me just say that
Okay.
that's a great graph, John. Tyler?
Well, my main concern with the projections from last year was that they're just insufficient. I mean, they're not even taking into account.
Did we lose Tyler again?
Hello?
John, are you guys taking distributions? John?
Oh, my bad. I was on mute. Let me start over.
So I've prepared a presentation. I'm sharing it with all of you. You should be able to see it on your screen right now.
Got it.
I don't see a link anywhere.
It says I need to download a plugin.
We are all using Macs, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
How can you?
Financials are looking great. Paul, do you have any comments on staffing?
I was thinking about that because we get a few more contractor types in. Hold on, I'm sorry. Rex, get down!
I don't know. I feel like when I look at the numbers last quarter, that you couldn't really tell a huge difference. So if we were to really tighten that up, then I
To me, staffing is a huge impact.
Is
Is
that?
that me? Is that me?
It's not me, I don't think.
I just want to go over a couple of details as we move into our next section here. We got 3 new departments coming on board.
I'm breaking up a little bit, guys.
By the end of Q3.
Driving to
So
a dead
I need
spot.
everyone to give me detailed evaluations each
Sorry,
month
guys.
so that we know. That's it, guys. Beth, you'll send out a recap email that could have basically taken the place of this whole meeting, correct?
Yep, always do.
Yeah, thanks for doing that, Beth. Dave, you been here the whole time? Yeah. Huh. Well, thanks everyone once again. Oh, one more.
Thanks, everyone. I hope you got a chuckle out of that video. And I know it's making fun and it's a satire, but unfortunately, probably we've all experienced meetings, especially virtual meetings and maybe teleconference calls that have been similar to that. So I wanted to ask you this. So thinking back to that video we just saw and the in-person and remote meetings that you yourself have experienced in the past, what are the characteristics of what you would consider a low-quality meeting? I'll give you a few minutes to answer, and you can unmute or enter your answers into the chat area. And Mike is monitoring the chat.
All right, low engagement. Anna says low engagement. Kroll says disconnection. Anna says when I feel like I've talked to myself the entire time. Karen says long silences. Rachel Ford says crickets. Vicki Peterson says what Anna said. No organization from Duane. Tedious, repetitive meetings that review what we covered in the last meeting, and no one did anything related to the work they were supposed to. That's from Amy in New York. Matt Nelson, off-topic conversations. Stacy Connolly agrees with the crickets. Definitely low engagement and silence. Robin from Montana. Eric, no one person is leading the meeting. Carol says Zoom bum is a real thing. We got to hear more about that. Mark Minkler, people in 2 meetings at the same time. Greg Edwards says echo and other tech issues.
I agree with you on that one.
Yeah, we got a lot of low engagement is again, Chelsea's mentioning that.
Yeah, that last guy in the video, right? Nobody knew he was there.
Unplanned surveys, Eric says, laughing out loud. And everybody really got a kick out of the video and said that's pretty much spot on.
Right. So that'll lead us into the next question I have for you. Surprise! I wanted to ask you again, thinking about that video and also the virtual meetings and teleconferences you've attended in the past, what are the characteristics that you would consider a high quality meeting? Once again, you can unmute or you can enter your answers in the chat area. Mike, once again, will be monitoring the chat area for me.
Hey, this is Anna. I'll break the mold and go ahead and speak live. I would say when I feel like I had a back and forth open discussion with my attendees, and also when I leave the meeting and I've taken notes on responses or information that they've given me.
Thanks, Anna. Margot saying having next steps. Amy mentions good collaboration and solutions to the topic in the meeting. Karen Moore says short with lots of collaboration.
Eric's got a hand up. I don't know if that means he wants to talk.
Oh yeah, Eric.
Yeah, I didn't want to break the silence without asking permission first. I think it's important that one person leads the meeting, that they direct, so you don't have people talking over each other all the time, creating confusion.
Thank you, Eric. Other things being mentioned is no technical problems. Everyone has a chance to speak, clear goals of the meeting. Leader has good connection, coordinated conversations, knowing what the topic of the meeting is and staying on track, moving through the agenda with active facilitation, sticking to a well thought out agenda, and then having all or at least most attendees involved in the meeting.
You might be noticing a trend here that what people are putting for high quality meeting characteristics are 180-degree difference from the low quality. And that is the case. So, you know, if it's not working and if it's causing low quality, you do the opposite with the hope that it will lead to high quality. So what we're hoping today is with this workshop, we'll be able to help you transform low quality meetings, whether you are the leader or a participant, because as a participant, you can help the leader and turn them into high quality meetings.
And Andre, let me just, Mark Winkler made one last comment.
Sure.
Having experience with some tech experience to help troubleshoot the things that come up really is helpful, which is true.
Agree. So while many use meetings to share information, high quality meetings strategize how a group can move forward in a meaningful way. So essentially just talking at people, that's a low quality meeting. Instead, you want to turn that around. In many ways, remote meetings are similar to in-person meetings. However, remote meetings can have some additional challenges. And those challenges are, what's the best tool to use? How do I run a remote meeting? And how do I make sure the remote meeting is effective and productive? So you want to overcome those, and we'll be going over ways to overcome those throughout this workshop. So all high quality meetings consist of 3 main life cycles. Life cycle 1 is before the meeting. Life cycle 2 is during the meeting. And life cycle 3 is after the meeting. So high quality meetings, both in-person and remote, take a good deal of planning. A helpful rule of thumb is for every 1 hour of expected meeting time, it will take 2 hours of preparation on your part, because most of you had indicated that you are the facilitators for the meetings that you have. As part of that planning, there are 4 types of tasks to complete before the meeting. For life cycle 2, there are 6 main tasks to complete during that meeting. 1 task for during the meeting is starting the meeting on time, and we did that for this workshop. We wanted to role model that for you. And that means starting it at the scheduled start time and not 5 minutes late, waiting for latecomers. And later in this workshop, we'll cover how to handle latecomers, because that was something people indicated was a problem that they were trying to deal with. Explain objectives and desired outcomes of the meeting. Roll call is important for remote meetings, as some might join by phone only. We saw that in the video. They didn't even know that guy was there. For our internal staff meetings, we don't really have to do that. But when you have external meetings for the types that you guys indicated, this is likely really important for you to do. Reviewing the agenda helps manage participants' expectations. Meeting norms are important, as we'll see later in the workshop, for helping rein in disruptive participants, which once again, several of you indicated as an ongoing issue, and therefore it is important to create norms with your group. And finally, reviewing the outstanding action items helps keep people responsible for their assigned tasks and keeps projects moving forward. After the meeting has concluded, you are not done as a meeting organizer or facilitator. Now it's time for life cycle 3. Life cycle 3 consists of regular follow-up. While we'll propose a minimum of 3 different times to follow up, there's actually more that you could do with meeting participants, and you might find for your purposes you need to do more or less. So in review, high quality meetings consist of 3 life cycles. Life cycle 1 occurs before the meeting, and that's all about the planning, which is really important. Life cycle 2 is during the actual meeting, and there's 6 tasks you can do to help ensure a high quality meeting. And then life cycle 3, which is after the meeting, and that involves a lot of follow-up. We have several downloadable resources, and Mike will put the links to these resources in the chat box for you for your convenience, and they're from our website, so you'll be able to download them. And then these are the references. So if you're interested in any of the content I presented in this session today, here are the references for it. And I wanted to ask you if there's any questions before we move on. Any coming in, Mike?
Not yet.
That's all right. So let's go ahead and move on, and I'll hand the time off to Braden now to talk about choosing the right tools.